For Moreton, and I call the member for Corangamite.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. It's my pleasure to rise and speak on this motion, albeit a motion that reflects on the terrible and tragic death of a young woman in Melbourne, Eurydice Dixon, and I want to say my heartfelt condolences go to her friends and to her family. This was a tragic and horrific death, a death that should never have happened, like every other death of any woman in a violent situation. There is no doubt that, as we all know, domestic violence and family violence is a scourge in our community, and it is absolutely unacceptable that on average one woman every week is dying at the hands of a partner or a former partner. This is an unbearable statistic, and I'm very proud, along with the member for Lindsay and other members of the committee, and of course the member for Banks is here with me, very proud of the work that, member for Chisholm, very proud of the work that we have done as a committee, making a range of recommendations to address family violence law reform in the federal context. I do want to make this particular point though. This terrible and tragic death did not happen in a domestic violence setting. Eurydice Dixon died at the hands of someone we understand she did not know. It was, for all we know, it was a psychopath, and frankly, Madam Deputy Speaker, anyone who does this is not mentally well, is psychopathic in their treatment of any other person. And we all deserve, whether we are women or men, we all deserve to be able to walk through the streets or through our parks in safety. But of course, that is not guaranteed, and that's why I commend Victoria Police for the warning that they gave, saying that please be careful, because at the time they gave the warning to Melburnians, of course, the alleged perpetrator of this evil act had not been arrested or caught. And I do say, of course, and just remind everyone that this matter is before the courts, so we do need to be very careful about what we do say in relation to this particular terrible and tragic murder. I want to, on that point, so first of all, I just want to make it very clear and commend Victoria Police, and I don't think it's right that Victoria Police were criticised in the aftermath of this tragedy, because frankly, whether you're a young woman or a young man in a dangerous situation, it is perfectly appropriate for Victoria Police to be issuing this warning. And I would know that for any parent, whether they be a parent of a young woman or a young man, or for anyone, in fact, walking through a park where this terrible tragedy has just occurred, as police has said, is dangerous, and it's very appropriate and proper that the community should be appropriately warned. And I want to reflect on an article written by Karen Matthews in the Geelong Advertiser just last Saturday, and she made this very point, and she said in the aftermath, she said, look, she found some of the sentiments to be offensive, and she said it began with a wave of indignation by some who criticised police for advising women to be mindful of their safety while walking alone at night. She goes on to write, now I don't know what police were supposed to say following such an awful crime, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't everything is okay, keep doing what you're doing, you'll be right. Critics who also chose to ignore the fact that at that particular stage, no one had yet been apprehended and charged over the killing, so not only was the advice given by police appropriate, but also vital to the protection of others. So I absolutely agree with the sentiments of Karen Matthews and many others in our community who have commended police. Madam Deputy Speaker, I just want to finish by saying I'm incredibly proud of the Turnbull government's commitment to women's safety. Again, in this budget, we've made a range of commitments. Another $54.4 million has been committed for the 1800 Respect line. for more investment in frontline workers right across the spectrum, and we will continue to work very hard to keep women in our community safe.
It's expired, I think.